This is Damon Stevens with Finwell Builders. Today is Thursday, September 22nd, 2022, and this is a stock market update for trades of the day. And hopefully you were doing well out there in the market today. It was a little choppy back and forth, but definitely got a sell off at the end of the day. We'll take a look at what's going on in the market so that hopefully we can prepare and for the next move that the market wants to make. That way we know we're making money, whether the market's going up, down, or sideways. So let's get into it, take a look at some charts, see what we can get from what's going on today. So you see here the Dow Jones closed down 0.35%, NASDAQ down 1.37%, and S&P 500 down 0.84%. Nice choppy day. This is a difficult day to trade unless you're trading a range. And even the range was very, very tight today. So hopefully you're careful or you just sit on the side with cash. When you see here on the Dow Jones, how we just kind of chop back and forth until the end of the day as we kind of elevated up and then we just sold it off. NASDAQ sold off in the morning, chopped to the bottom, came back up and sold off again in a day. So definitely a lot of weakness in the market. Definitely the bears are continuing to be in control. You see here on the heat map that we had red across the board pretty much, except for healthcare was pretty good. Healthcare kind of was where the money was today. Microsoft, after coming out of new lows, try to make a bounce, but not quite there yet. So we still have some possible downside on some of these stocks. So we'll take a look at it. See on the scanner, S Pro is the only one who kind of hit the mark. 167 in huge volumes. I did not get this trade though, so just letting you know that right up front. So hopefully some of you did. Pixie was also, it's in Sava. Sava did really well today as well. If you caught this one, it was just amazing ride. But Pixie's been on our list several times. It's popped up again. Just keep an eye on the scanner as you go into these next few days here and see if there's some opportunities there. Looking at the news, for today, initial jobless claims came pretty well close. Not really anything to rock the market back in or any direction here. Friday we have a PMI meeting notes coming out, so just be aware of that. So we'll see if that has any effect on the market, but more likely markets, obviously could stay flat through the rest of this week, or we could continue to shock the market and try to make those new lows, but not quite there yet. But just so you know, institutions, are, at an all-time, high as far as shorting the market with contracts. So you can see here since 2000, I mean, nothing's come close to this. So, everybody is very bearish on the market as far as institutions. Look at the SPY. This is calls and puts. So call is where somebody has a contract to go long on the market. Puts are where they go short. And you can see, obviously, there's more puts out here than calls. And really, these key groups here, really want the market below 390 and, below 375 if they want to be able to get paid out here at the end of the week. And these people want, obviously these investors here want to see the market continue to climb up so they can get paid out. But right now, it looks like the bears are the ones who are going to get paid out so far this week. But looking at the S&P 500, look at all the stocks that are made up of all the companies that are made up of the S&P 500. You can see those who are over the 50-day average are typically bullish, and the number of companies below it are bearish. And you can see right now, we came down again today to another low here, right towards the base of where we were back here in May and back here in February, June. So we've kind of hit those lows again. Here's the lowest low, which is June 17th. That's when the market hit the bottom, and we're very close to that. So right now we only have 10% of companies in the S&P 500 above the 50-day moving average. Everybody else is below. That's very bearish and very much towards the bottom. And usually when you get towards the bottom here, typically you'll get a bounce here. You can see last time we came off this low, we kind of bounced up here, had this nice little rally, came back, had another short rally, and then we pull back, and now we're back down to here. So, we could get a bounce anytime, possibly here, right now where we're sitting. So something to be aware of, that, we could get a bounce, but, right now, very bearish and very much close to the new lows are very possible here. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe to our channel and like our videos so we continue to bring this content, and also share it with your friends and family and other investors that you may know this can be helpful too. Just so you know as well, We have a free non-member chat and daily watch list that we post on our Discord server before the market opens. So you know what we're looking at trading, when we're getting in, when we're getting out as we get into this market. So hopefully you'll find that helpful for you. And if you do want to join us, I would love to have you join us. If you do, this is a dashboard you'd see. This is a dashboard, basically gives you access to live trading. You have training courses out there. We have a master class out there, covers about 16 different techniques, training techniques, maybe some that most that you may already know, maybe a couple that you haven't tried before. This way, you know, as you're getting to know yourself as a trader or looking for new ideas of how to trade, you know, you might find that helpful as well as for those who are starting out to kind of get the basics down to where you can start to trade and hopefully be successful with it. Group trading and we have one-on-ones. And one-on-ones, one of the things we've done the last little bit here is we've got onto people's desktops and take a look at their setups on their trading setups and have been able to offer suggestions to them on how to tweak it a little bit to make them, you know, optimize it for their trading. So let's get in some charts here. See Tesla, tag that 50. We talked about this. So it broke out back out, you know, after hitting the top of this longer trend line here, the top, and pulled back, sitting right on the 50-day moving average. So if we can bounce from here, you know, then Tesla's holding up that bullish momentum. But if it doesn't, if it fails, then it's going to possibly break down to this lower trend line or back through here, which would put it kind of in the category of everybody else right now. So we'll see if Tesla can hold that 50-day moving average. You see Chipotle lost it today, you know, after this big long run and holding it and putting this other top in here, it's came down below that 50 days. So looking now for weakness in Chipotle as it seems like it's coming down. And if it does break this neckline right here, this 155, which, you know, you can see this is maybe a double top here. If it comes down, it could break that. If it breaks this 200, it's coming down with the rest of the stocks, which very well could happen if the market decides to sell off. NVIDIA putting in new lows again. Just the NVIDIA, every time it tries to get up there, it just gets smacked down again. So NVIDIA continues to show weakness. You know, downward play now, probably is down to, you know, close to this 120 area if it continues to sell off. You know, 115, 113 would be the next area, but NVIDIA continues to be weak. Amazon, second day below this wedge. So we did break down past the wedge, past our center deviation bands. And so seeing, you know, it could come down anywhere close down to this new low here around 101. Netflix, it's kind of consolidating here. Netflix actually is trying to hold up here and, you know, after, you know, this little run up here, but it's still below the moving averages. It needs to, you know, get above there and hold for a few days to get more bullish. So it's trying, Netflix is trying, but it's definitely, you know, right there in the center. So it's kind of hard to know. If you're not into it already, it'd be hard to know, you know, where to get in and where to get out. So not a good risk reward situation if you're not already in it. Apple just continues to trend down here, just kind of grinding lower in this little narrow channel we have here. So we hit kind of, this was the bottom. So if you're channel trading, you know, you'd be buying here, selling and shorting here, selling here, and buying up and writing it back up here. And now you're kind of in the middle. So not a good place to get in if you're not in Apple already. So just be careful, but we are in this narrow descending wedge right now on Apple. Microsoft made a new low, popped back up though. So it's trying to get up. So it's within this candle here. So it really needs to get back above 245 if it wants to run. Otherwise, it may continue to go down and make new lows. But if you're talking about bonds, boy, the 10-year bond just rocketed up. Look at this jump. So new highs, past our second deviation band. You know, does it hit the third? Possibly. You know, it did back here, back in June. But boy, just the bond market is killing it. But you know, here's the thing. You know, 10 years from now, it's looking at 3.7%. If you look at the 2-year, which is crazy, so 2-year forecast out is 4 or over 4% now, and it's almost the top of this deviation band. So 4% in 2 years. So that means, you know, they're seeing the rates to be high for an extended period of time. And so we'll see. But boy, bonds just continue to rocket here to new highs every day. Dollar Index still elevated. It kind of pulled back a little bit, but it really needs to drop here off this this line here if it wants to help the market go up. Because so right now, a lot of money flowing in the dollar and sitting in that dollar right now. Gold continues to remain flat, almost putting like a little bear flag, but it's kind of holding down here, showing a lot of weakness here, but it's still, at least it's stabilized right there. It hasn't dropped through yet. So if it does drop through the 1650 area, then we maybe come down to 1620. The VIX, so that this is the volatility index. You can see just kind of slowly has been grinding up here, right towards the midline here. Hasn't broke back down through the line or broke back up. But as long as it hugs this line, a lot of times, you'll see the VIX break down through the bottom. But if it does get some momentum, it could break up through here. If it breaks up over 30, 31, we'll probably see that big, huge sell-off, next sell-off here that will take the market down to new lows. Looking at the S&P 500, again, you can see that it's broken our trend line down here, and it's below it. Next support is 371. If we don't get a bounce here, which we did beat last time we were here, we're coming down and hitting this low here around 362. So something to be aware of there. On a weekly chart, you can see weekly chart again. It's right above the 20, so the 200 days. So the 200 is at 367. So if we come down to that, tomorrow or the next day, maybe we can get a bounce off that 200-day moving average. If it breaks the 200-day, new lows are in check here. Triple Qs, again, if it's right here, there's a big group of candles right here. If it can bounce here, it's great. If it breaks below, this 280 area, it's probably coming down to new lows. But it's very bearish. Everything's very bearish right now. Everything broke all of our support lines. IWM broke that support line. Next support area down where these candles are here around 168. We break that, 163 is the next line in the sand. XLF, big sell-off below our bands here outside the wedge. The next support is this group of candles down here around around 31,000. We break that, $30 is the next one, $31. So Bitcoin tried to bounce back up here. So it got below our trend line. I got right down to our support line and our trend line. It kind of broke back up, trying to run here. So we'll see if it can run up here and break through these back up towards the top here. But again, it's in this tight little wedge, moving down, and it's below the moving averages. So still very weak. Ethereum, same thing. Looks like it's trying to break up here and make a little run here. So we'll see if it can break back up into our support line and start moving back up towards the top here. If it can get above this 1400, it can run. If it gets back below this 1300, again, we talked about probably coming down to 1,000. So just be real careful out there. The momentum right now is downward. So just be careful out there if you're trading or if you're short in the market. Just make sure you're locking profits along the way. So, because we don't know, the floor could fall out, but we don't know. We could also get a bounce here sometime soon, since we've had several days headed downward. So just keep that in mind. But stay safe out there. We'll talk tomorrow night. Line up our trades for the next days we close out this week. So everybody have a great night and happy trading tomorrow.